Screen visible है?
Hmm.
Now let's start our master data. Now vendor master data is the company's main source of vendor specific data. It includes information on vendor from which a company can produce or sell. Vendor master data contains vendor's name, address, bank account number, etc. So how to configure vendor master data? First to define vendor account group, then define number ranges, then assigning that number ranges to the vendor account group, then create vendor. Now you can see I have maintained three T codes. One is XK01, MK01, FK01 to create vendor centrally or purchasing view or by accounting view. Okay. So this was in SAP ECC system. Okay. So in ECC system, we need to, if we maintain, if we need to create a vendor centrally, then we used to use T code XK01. Then to create extend it to the purchasing view, then we need to use MK01 because this is X is used for that sales side, M is for material side, and F is for finance side. Okay, so that's why in SAP system there are three different T codes to create a vendor. But in SAP S4HANA, there is only one T code that is business partner. So first let's start vendor account group. Vendors are categorized according to their requirements. Some of vendors having similar characteristics are grouped together and placed in one category. For example, all local vendors can be placed under one account group. So this is the SPRO path to create vendor account group. Now enter the vendor account group as T010, enter the name of the vendor account group as Tesla group vendor and save it. Now second, go to the number range. This is the SPRO path. Now here I have maintained the interval for maintain the number range for to assign to my vendor master. So here I have maintained 02 from 1000000 to 1999998, and I will be assigning this number range 02 to my vendor account group T010. So what's this assignment shows? This assignment shows so whoever the vendor I will be creating with this T010 group, that vendor number will be assigning from this number range. So this is the use of this assignment of number range to the vendor account group. Now coming to the creation of vendor. So this is the screen giving the company code and purchasing organization, giving the first name. First one is general data. General data is maintained at client level. See, you have used general data, then FLVN 00 for company code data, then FLVN 01 purchasing data, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But the interviewer will ask you that your general data will be maintained at which level? This is maintained at client level. Means this is valid for all organization levels. Whatever data
Okay.
I'm maintaining, so this will be valid for all organization levels. What this data contains? This data contains only the vendor name, vendor address, and vendor communication details. Now coming to the accounting data. Accounting data means company code data. So accounting data is maintained only at company code level, company level, and it is valid for all parts belonging to that company. So here we will be maintaining the reconciliation account where all the GL accounts have been reconciled. Now the third is purchasing data, and be very specific that this purchasing data is maintained only at purchasing organization levels. Means if I maintain this vendor, so and give the purchasing organization to this purchasing organization, this vendor can be dealing with means for this vendor only this that purchasing organization will be dealing. So this purchasing data is maintained at only purchasing organization levels. So these are the three different levels in which we are dealing. To I have created these five vendors. So to view those list of vendors created in purchasing organizations, the purchasing organization I will be using T010. The T code is MKVZ. That will show the list of vendors. So by executing T code MKVZ, I can list out all the vendors that I've created in purchasing organization. You can see the group I have created T010, and these are the vendors. This is the street, city details, purchasing organizations, purchasing order descriptions, minimum value, currency, and all the details. Now material master complete, vendor master complete. Now coming to the purchasing info record. So the separate data of material and master we combined all together in one record is called purchasing info record. What is purchasing info record? It is doing the combining the two record. One is vendor master and second one is vendor master. Purchasing info record maintaining material and vendor supplying that material into one group. Like example, current price, standard price, plant delivery time, tax code, tolerances. So by this we can combining all these two details. So purchasing info record contains general data, purchasing organization data, and conditions. So purchasing general data contains vendor data, order unit of measure, purchasing organization data maintain control plant, delivery, tolerance, and net price. Similarly, conditions will contain price related data. So what's the use of this purchase info record? We cannot maintain price, delivery time, or tolerance for particular vendor into material and vendor master record. Due to that, we have to maintain material and vendor combination data into the one file, which is centrally available for each department, is called purchasing info record. You can understand this in this way that there is a cabinet of material master and there is a cabinet of
Hmm.
vendor master. So how will we knowing that this material can be purchased through this vendor at this price? So for maintaining this record, I will be choosing one file, one material file, one vendor file, and create a new file that this material can be maintained, then can be purchased from this vendor at this price. This is the just the concept of purchasing info record. So I have told you there is three type of data. First is general data in purchase this info record. For second one is purchasing info or purchase organization data, and third one is conditions. So let's see this vendor data. This tab is general data. This general vendor data and purchase order unit of measure, where we can explaining that this vendor can needs to be reminder needs to get reminder at first 1 day, then 3 days, then 5 days. Okay, means if I have created a purchase order, then I need to remind him at 1 day, then 3 days, then 5 days. This vendor told us. Okay, so he the order
No,
unit.
when we are seeing remind, are we go? Are the vendor will get the email from us,
यस यस,
or will
हमारे पास वेंडर मास्टर डेटा की फाइल है जिसमें उसने ये डेटा मेंटेन किया हुआ है। वहां से हम
hmm,
ये डेटा इस इधर परचेज इन्फो रिकॉर्ड में डाल
ये
देंगे।
ऑटो जाएगा, राइट?
राइट। And second one is purchasing organization data. Here we will be maintaining plant delivery, tolerance limit, see plant delivery time, tolerance limit, and conditions. And third one is conditions. In conditions, we will be maintaining the price. Here we can maintain conditions like gross price, discount, surcharge, and freight for particular material and vendor for a specific period of time. See, for a specific period of time. Here is
I have a
validity.
question. I have a
That
question.
this one
One
second,
query.
this material we can procure from this vendor within this time period only,
Okay.
and with this price conditions. So this is the condition step in vendor master purchase info record. So now you can ask question. What's the question? What's your question?
Here we have mentioned some conditions. Okay. Down the line, 3 years or maybe 2 years, we want to, company wants to change the terms and conditions. So, do end users have that access to update these terms and conditions, or they have to contact SAP consultant?
End user can maintain this data because this is not a configuration data. BP. BPT code is business end user transaction. Here
which is
we are maintaining valid from this to this. So we are just changing the data.
नहीं नहीं, इन टर्म्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग लाइक हमने किसी वेंडर को ऑनबोर्ड किया, ठीक है, हमारा एम्पावरमेंट हुआ उसके साथ, उसका साथ जो भी कोई टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस था, अभी हमने वो मटेरियल ज़्यादा बल्क में बढ़ा दिया, नाउ वी वांट डिस्काउंट ऑन दैट प्राइस। तो हमने जब कॉन्फ़िगर किया, कॉन्फ़िगरेशन किया, तो हमने प्री डिफाइंड एक प्राइस डाल के दिया था, एंड हमने ट्रेनिंग दे दिया, सब कुछ हो गया, एंड नाउ इट इज़ ऑन ऑटो मोड। बट
हम्म
देन वो 2-3 दिन साल के बाद जो चेंज हो रहा है, तो वो चेंज करने का एक्सेस एंड यूजर्स के पास होता है कॉन्फ़िगरेशन में, कि उनको हमें कॉन्टैक्ट करना पड़ेगा?
नहीं, ये देखो दिखाते हैं। एंड यूजर डायरेक्ट कैसे चेंज कर सकते हैं वो भी दिखाते हैं। See, I'm just going to transaction code BP, business partner. I'm clicking on start here, just choosing a vendor 4002.
आप कुछ स्क्रीन दिखा रहे हो?
अच्छा सॉरी, मैंने स्क्रीन जो है वो केवल एक सिंगल मोड पे डाल रखी है। दैट्स व्हाई यू आर अनेबल टू शो ना। ओके, वन सेकेंड, लेट मी शेयर माय स्क्रीन अगेन। सी, मैंने डिस्प्ले किया हुआ है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को, मीन्स वेंडर को 4002। दिस इज द वेंडर। जस्ट go on the display and change mode. See, here we can even change its address also. प्राइस और कंडीशंस तो बात की बात रही, हम इसका सारा
वो
डेटा चेंज कर सकते हैं।
मैं
पेमेंट
समझ गई,
ट्रांजेक्शन,
हम कर सकते हैं, बट मैं बात कर रही हूँ 2-3 साल बाद की।
वेन एवर, जब तक
तो
इसकी
हम तो
वैलिडिटी।
कर सकते हैं, पर वो जो एंड यूजर है वो कर सकता है?
हाँ, ये बीपी जो टी कोड है वो एंड यूजर के ही द्वारा यूज किया जाता है।
अच्छा ठीक है।
मतलब स्टार्टिंग में तो कंसल्टेंट ही पूरा वेंडर मास्टर और मटेरियल मास्टर वो सारा रिकॉर्ड बना के देते हैं, बट बाद में अगर कोई
हाँ।
स्पेसिफिक चेंजेस आते हैं तो वो कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा।
स्क्रीन विजिबल है ना?
हम्म।
So purchasing info record is done. First one is there are three displays. One is general data, second purchasing organization data, third is condition data. Now why is purchase अरे यार, what's the importance of purchasing info record? Why this is so important to us? Materials with different prices regarding to different vendors can maintain info record. See, I have maintained that this material 748 can be procured with vendor this and vendor this, with this conditions, like this is giving price 200 euro, this is giving at price 330 euro, this is giving
हम्म।
plant delivery time of 4 days, this is giving plant delivery time of 5 days. So we can maintain for a single material from different vendors. We can also, after creating different info records, we it helps in assigning source of supply automatically in purchase requisition. So we will be seeing this purchase requisition topic in our procure to pay cycle. So while we are creating purchase requisition, here we can see that these are the vendors available. So we can select the vendor and assign the source. Similarly, it helps to automatic trigger of data and purchase order. See, while we are just entering this vendor here and this material here, this delivery date and this price comes automatically. How? Because we have maintained purchase info record for this material vendor combination. So that's why this plant delivery date and this price coming from net conditions tab, and this delivery time comes from purchasing organization data tab. Okay, so this is useful in this way. So from below figure, we can see that how info record data like net price, plan delivery date, conditions can be triggered automatically once we put vendor and material combination. Okay. Now comes to our next topic, that is source list. The combined information of material and vendor is maintained in a record is called purchase info record. ठीक है, हमने यहाँ एक रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन किया था परचेज इन्फो रिकॉर्ड में मटेरियल और वेंडर का. बट अ पर्टिकुलर मटेरियल कैन बी ऑर्डर फ्रॉम डिफरेंट वेंडर टाइम इंटरवल्स एट डिफरेंट टाइम इंटरवल्स. दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इज स्टोर्ड इन आवर सोर्स लिस्ट. Information of source Importance of source list is this, that source list includes the list of possible source of supply for materials at a particular time period. It specifies time period of ordering material from a given vendor. Source list can be copied from one plant to another. See, this is the T code ME01 to maintaining the source list. Here, what I have maintained, that this material 748 for this plant T020 can be procured from these vendors within these validity periods by these purchasing organizations. We can fix a particular vendor or can block a particular vendor. Okay, by making a check mark here. So see, above we can see I have maintained three vendors for my material 748 at plant level and fixed 101046 vendors now, and then will while creating purchase execution system will automatically give me this vendor for this particular period of time. अगर मैं इस particular period of time पे इस 101046 ये वाला मटेरियल है मैंने इसको फिक्स किया हुआ है, और अगर इस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड में अगर मैं कोई भी परचेज ऑर्डर या परचेज लोकेशन क्रिएट करता हूँ इस मटेरियल के लिए, तो मुझे ऑटोमेटिकली ये वाला वेंडर सजेस्ट किया जाएगा यहाँ पे. देखो, ये क्रिएट
समझ
परचेज
गए।
लोकेशन है ME21N. जैसे ही मैं इस परचेज लोकेशन के लिए यहाँ पे जैसे ही मैं मटेरियल डालूंगा, एंटर करूंगा, तुरंत ही मुझे ये फिक्स्ड वेंडर यहाँ पे शो हो जाएगा.
ओके।
और यहाँ पे दिखाई देगा ए डिफरेंट सोर्स ऑफ सप्लाई इज द फिक्स्ड वेंडर फॉर दिस. क्या दिख रहा है, मतलब यहाँ पे हमें फिक्स्ड वेंडर अपने आप ही शो हो जाएगा, कहने का मतलब ये है बस. सेकेंड थिंग इज दिस, अगर मैंने किसी वेंडर को ब्लॉक किया हुआ है किसी टाइम पीरियड में, और अगर तब मैं उस मटेरियल को एंटर करता हूं, तो वहां पे मुझे उस मटेरियल को यूज करते हुए अगर मैं वहां पे कोई दूसरा वेंडर चूज करता हूं जो कि ब्लॉक्ड है, तो वहां पे मुझे एरर मैसेज शो होगा जो कि एज ए ब्लॉक्ड वेंडर नो सिस्टम इज शोइंग मी एज ए ब्लॉक्ड सोर्स ऑफ सप्लाई ब्लॉक्ड. हाँ, तो वहां पे मुझे मैसेज शो होगा सोर्स ऑफ सप्लाई ब्लॉक्ड इफ आई परचेजिंग this material from that vendor in this delivery date. तो ये यूज
अभी मेरे
होता
को
है.
इधर ही एरर आ रहा है।
अच्छा, तो ये यूज होता है
ये
परचेजिंग इन्फो
एग्जैक्ट
इन्फो
पॉइंट।
रिकॉर्ड का, कि हमने अगर किसी को
अच्छा।
ब्लॉक किया हुआ है या किसी को फिक्स किया हुआ है, तो वो हमको चेक करना पड़ेगा कि क्या
हम्म।
उसकी वैलिडिटी है. क्या एरर आ रहा है बताओ, वर्बली बताओ, अभी बाद में फिक्स कर देंगे.
ये अग्रीमेंट है ना, वो मैंडेट हो रहा है।
तो उसका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बनाया हुआ है, उस मटेरियल का उस वेंडर के लिए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बना हुआ है. तो हमें उस एग्रीमेंट के थ्रू चलना पड़ेगा. अभी आएगा थोड़ी देर में एग्रीमेंट और ये सारी चीज आ जाएंगी, तो आपके काफी सारा डाउट क्लियर हो जाएगा. सो दिस टाइम सिस्टम शो मी मैसेज दैट वेंडर इज ब्लॉक्ड बाय सोर्स लिस्ट. सी हियर,
हम्म।
as
हम्म।
I blocked this vendor for this time period, so source of supply is blocked. This message will be shown.
हम्म।
Now coming to our procure to pay cycle. अगर आपको मटेरियल मैनेजमेंट सीख रही हैं तो सबसे बेस, और अगर आपको केवल एक सिंगल ये साइकिल भी आती है प्रोक्योर टू पे, तो आप इसी से जॉब ले लोगी. पूरा अगर MM भी नहीं आता, अगर आपको ये सिंगल एक साइकिल भी आती है तो इसी से जॉब भी मिल जाएगी, बस अच्छे से आनी चाहिए.
ओके।
तो यहाँ पे देखिए, ये प्लांट है मेरा टी
मुझे
जीरो टू जीरो
पूछना था कि
हम्म.
कुछ इंटरव्यू में जब कोई कुछ कॉन्फ़िगर करने के लिए बोलते होंगे ना कि ये कॉन्फ़िगर करके दिखाओ, या मटेरियल क्रिएट करके दिखाओ, या सोर्स लिस्ट ये करके दिखाओ, तो वो टी कोड भी पूछते हैं और SPRO पाथ भी पूछते हैं, या क्या पूछते हैं, कि सिर्फ उससे ही मतलब होता है कि तुम ये क्रिएट करके दिखा दो?
Depends on the interviewer whether he can ask about the T code also, about the SPRO path also, because he wants to check ना, उसे ट्रेन ना
हम्म।
करना पड़े. अगर वो कंसल्टेंट हायर कर रहा है तो कंसल्टेंट ये ना ढूंढे कि भाई ये कहाँ पे है ये वाला पाथ, मुझे मटेरियल क्रिएट करना है तो MM01 यूज करूँ कि ME21N यूज करूँ. So he will be checking only that information, that whether you know about that or not.
समझ
So now for my plant T020, there is a requirement that I will send to the purchasing organization that I will need this material A1 and material A2. So my purchasing organization that is assigned to this plant, that is T010. Purchasing organization try to find material in the stock. If not available, then purchasing organization start searching for vendors for that material. सबसे पहले स्टॉक में चेक करेगा, भाई इस प्लांट को ये वाला रिक्वायरमेंट चाहिए, ये वाले दो मटेरियल चाहिए, तो वो पहले स्टॉक में चेक करेगा कि ये वाले मटेरियल है कि नहीं है. अगर नहीं है तो फिर वो ये देखेगा कि ये किससे खरीद सकते हैं. तो जो पहला स्टेप है वो है रिक्वेस्ट फॉर कोटेशन. तो वो अपने 3 वेंडर्स को रिक्वेस्ट भेजेगा कि भाई आप कोटेशन भेजो, मुझे ये मटेरियल चाहिए. कोटेशन में क्या होगा, केवल मटेरियल और उसकी क्वांटिटी और उसकी रिक्वायर्ड रिक्वेस्टेड डेट, मतलब कब तक चाहिए, 3 डिटेल्स डालेगा रिक्वेस्ट फॉर कोटेशन में. टी कोड है ME41. उसके बाद तीनों वेंडर हमें अपना कोटेशन भेज देंगे. फिर हम ME47 से तीनों कोटेशन को मेंटेन करेंगे अपने एसएपी सिस्टम में. ठीक है, वो जो भी डेटा देगा कि हम इस प्राइस पे इस टाइम में डिलीवर कर सकते हैं. सो आफ्टर मेंटेनिंग द कोटेशन, the steps come vendor evaluation. Here, as per the client requirement, we configure vendor on the basis of price, quality, delivery time, etc. to select the vendor. Okay. So see, वेंडर ए ने बताया कि 100 रुपये पे देगा, वेंडर बी ने बताया 110 पे देगा, वेंडर सी ने बताया 120 रुपये पे देगा. Now we will be doing the price comparison using the T code ME49 and executing ME49. It will select vendor A for us and reject these two vendors automatically. Means the vendor comparison is doing automatically. Okay. Now our vendor is selected. Now what we will do, we will create a purchase order. So here T code is ME21N, creation of PO for plant T020, material A1 and A2 and send to vendor A. हमने परचेज ऑर्डर बनाया अपने प्लांट T020 के लिए मटेरियल A1 और A2 का, और वो वेंडर A को भेज दिया जो सेलेक्ट किया था. Now material is received in my plant and vendor sends us the invoice. वेंडर मटेरियल भेज देगा और उसके साथ इनवॉइस भेज देगा कि भैया तुम्हारा इतना बिल बन रहा है. तो वो हम गुड सेट करेंगे मीगो, जो मैं करके दिखाया था अभी. उसके बाद क्या है, इन दिस स्टेप अकाउंटिंग डिपार्टमेंट वेरीफाइज द इनवॉइस इन कोऑर्डिनेशन विद प्लांट एंड परचेज डिपार्टमेंट. अब क्या है, जो इनवॉइस उसने भेजा है वो हम क्रॉस चेक करेंगे कि उतना ही माल भेजा है कि नहीं भेजा है, उतने का ही बिल भेजा है कि नहीं भेजा है. पता चला 100 का माल भेजा है और 200 का बिल बना के भेज दिया. तो दिस इज लॉजिस्टिक इनवॉइस वेरिफिकेशन that is done in T code Miro. Now, after we have verified the invoice, after that we will be doing the payment to the vendor. Okay. So this is the complete procure to pay cycle.
ओके.
Now I will be explaining each and every in detail. Just a second. गला सूख जाता है बोलते बोलते. Now coming to the topic purchase requisition. Procurement in every organization starts with gathering requirements. Once requirements are gathered, we need to inform the purchasing organization. The purchase requirement is a document that contains a list of requirements. A purchase requisition is a request that is made to the purchasing organization to procure a certain list of materials. It is an internal document and remains within the organization. This point needs to be noted that this is only internal document. Our production team will send this to our purchasing department only. So this is internal work. Okay. Purchasing requisition needs approval from the purchasing organization. Purchase requisition can be created for the following procurement types. These are the procurement types: standard, subcontracting, consignment, stock transfer, external service. In standard, getting finished material from vendor. We will be maintaining this. In subcontracting, provide raw material to vendor and getting finished material. In consignment, procuring material that is kept in company premises and paying to vendor for that. In stock transfer, getting material from within the organization. External service, getting services lay maintenance from third party vendor. So these are the types of purchase requisition that is needs to be done in an organization. So from this particular document, I have created using only standard purchase order to learn about how the simple procure to pay cycle runs within the system. And for that, I have made 7 materials and different vendors from which I want to buy from them, which shown be which shown below in details. आपको सो रहा है ये लिखा रहा है योर मीटिंग विल एंड इन 10 मिनट्स.
Hmm.
ओके. सो परचेजिंग रिक्वेशन के लिए टी कोड है ME51N, पाथ है लॉजिस्टिक MM परचेज रिक्वेशन क्रिएट. तो यहाँ पे मैंने ये 7 मटेरियल मेंटेन किए हैं. कुछ रॉ मटेरियल हैं, कुछ फिनिश्ड मटेरियल हैं. ये इनके मटेरियल नंबर्स हैं और ये इनके सोर्स ऑफ सप्लाई हैं. सोर्स ऑफ सप्लाई मीन्स दिस मटेरियल कैन बी procured from these different vendors. So
Vendors.
now,
Vendor
so
source.
now, yeah, to understand different scenarios, I have created purchase education for all 7 materials, and to some material, I have assigned source of supply in purchase education. And I took some material to generate request for quotation by not assigning source of supply in PR, and with combination, I have created purchase order. So let's start one by one. Below we can see that I have assigned source of supply to item number 10. Material number 748 will be taken from the vendor 101046. You can see in previous also that for this material 748, I have fixed this vendor 101046, right? So it will be automatically taken for this material. Okay. Now the second case is, as we can see for item number 20, 30 and 40, I have not assigned any source. Hence I can decide it after quotation from vendors. तो पहला केस तो ये था कि सोर्स लिस्ट मेंटेन की हुई थी, वहां पे वेंडर को फिक्स किया हुआ था. तो उसके लिए ना कोटेशन मांगेगा, ना वो जो कोटेशन मांगने वाला मेंटेन कोटेशन, फिर प्राइस कंपैरिजन, वेंडर सिलेक्शन,
Hmm.
ये सारा प्रोसेस नहीं होगा उस
Hmm.
पर्टिकुलर आइटम के लिए, क्योंकि वो वाला हमने फिक्स किया हुआ है. आइटम नंबर 20, 30, 40 के लिए मैंने कोई असाइनमेंट नहीं किया हुआ है सोर्स का. तो उसके लिए ये कोटेशन
Hmm.
भेजेगा और कोटेशन भेजने के बाद डिसाइड होगा कि कौन से वेंडर से खरीदना है. देन वी विल बी मेंटेन
Karna.
दैट वेंडर, राइट. So for this particular, see, material item number 20, there are 2 vendors available. We can assign the source by selecting the particular vendor. And for other materials, number 50, 60, and 70, there is only single source. So that is automatically will be assigned once I enter on assign source of supply. See, in this list of purchase location, for these 3 materials only, there is only single source of supply. So there won't be any possibility for comparison of vendors. So if I click on assign source, so that those vendors can be automatically assigning for those materials. Okay. See, for 50, this vendor can be automatically assigned if there is only single source of supply. Now, in purchase division, we just need the enter the material and quantity. Okay. And this fixed vendor can be, how this can be chosen. If source of supply is maintained and vendor is fixed, then it can taken automatically. If there are different vendors, then we can choose from those vendors. And third one is, if there is only single source of supply, then that can be assigned source of supply. So in this way, material record and vendor record can be maintained, and by saving this, our purchase requisition number is created successfully. Now see, for this item, assigned automatically. For item number 20, 30, there is no not assignment, but for 50, 60, 70, there is only single source of supply, so that is assigned.
Hmm.
Now coming to the request for quotation. So vendor selection is an important process in the procurement cycle. Once requirements are gathered, we start looking for possible suppliers who can fulfill the requirements at the best possible price. So the request is made to the vendors to submit their quotation indicating the price of the material along with their terms and conditions. This request is known as the request for quotation. Request for quotation is a form of invitation that is sent to the vendor to submit a quotation indicating their prices and terms and conditions. So the question is this, what is the request for quotation? It is simply a form of invitation that is sent to the vendors to submit the details in the form of quotation. What that indicate? That indicate what at what price they will be offering that materials with what terms and conditions. It contains details about goods and services, quantity, date of delivery, and date bid on which it is to be submitted. Quotation is reply by vendor response to request for quotation. So first we will create request for quotation creation manually using the T code ME41. The path is logistic MM RFQ create. RFQ creation automatically from PR or outline agreement. So to create a RFQ, just enter the RFQ type as AN, language, RFQ date is as today's date, quotation deadline, then up to which date this quotation will be valid. ऐसा नहीं है ना कि हमने कोटेशन मांगा है भैया कि हमें 3 दिन तक ये कोटेशन दे दो और वेंडर भेज रहा है 10 दिन बाद जब उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं है तो हमको ये डेडलाइन भी फिक्स करनी पड़ती है.
Hmm.
So with reference to purchase education, I have these materials now, and I will select which I have not assigned source of supply and adapt those materials. See, for 20, 30, 40, I will creating the request for quotation Be- because I have not selected the vendor for these three materials. So for selected material, now I have to send request to vendor for these three materials as shown below. Create request for quotation. These are the materials. This is the request quantity, and I required at these delivery dates. So I am entering the vendor details. So for material 749 and 750 with vendor this one RFQ is created. Second RFQ is created for this material and this vendor. Means material combination and vendor combination request for quotation is created because we are requesting different vendors, no? So that's why different PRs RFQ would be created. Now we will be maintaining the those request for quotations. Now I'm going to maintain quotation price I've gathered from vendor. I will execute T code ME47. Here I will maintain the vendor, this vendor. I will be maintain the price only. I will be entering the RFQ number, and after entering the RFQ number, the material and vendor details should be populated automatically. I just need to enter the net price, at what price this vendor is offering that material. So simply I am maintaining uh, using the T code ME47. See, for this vendor, and this vendor, I am creating maintaining the three quotations. Now coming to the RFQ comparison. We can comparison quotation of different vendors in this step. We using the T code ME49. जैसे हम ME49 एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे तो SAP सिस्टम हमारा खुद से कैलकुलेट करके देगा कि ये वाला तीन मटेरियल
Hmm.
हैं और ये तीन वेंडर हैं, किस किस प्राइस पे दे रहे हैं, क्या क्या वैल्यू है,
Yeah.
क्या वैल्यूएशन पड़ रहा है उसका हमें, और हम फिर उसकी रैंकिंग करता है ये कि ये वाले मटेरियल के लिए हमें ये वाला वेंडर चूज करना चाहिए, ये ऐसे करके, ठीक है. तो हमें ये खुद से चूज करके देगा. ये देखो हमें ये इसको हमने फर्स्ट दिया है और इसको
Hmm.
सेकंड, इसको थर्ड और इसको फोर्थ, तो इसने आरएफक्यू कंपेयर कंपेयर किए हैं. So now below source of supply which I have selected from my PR and RFQ, now I will create purchase order for this. So see, for item number 10, this was fixed vendor. For item number 20, 30, 40, these are defined from requesting for quotation, then maintaining quotation, then price comparison. These three steps would be followed. And for 50, 60, 70, only single source of supply was there. So that's why these vendors are automatically assigned to these material. Okay. Now I will be ordering these materials by creating the purchase order. Purchase order is the formal and final confirmation of the requirement that is sent to vendor to supply material or service. The purchase order includes important information such as name of the material, its corresponding plant, detail of purchase or organization with its company code, name of vendor, and delivery date. A purchase organization can be created by following this step. This is the SPRO path: material management, purchasing, create, vendor supplying plant. T code is ME21N to create, ME22N to change, and ME23N to display. I have created purchase orders with reference to PR as well as RFQ as shown in snapshot below.